Greetings, boils, ghouls, and all of the macabre manner of being. It's your old buddy Oxleymations here again, bringing forth to you another video. For today's topic, if it wasn't already obvious, we shall be taking another look into the box of yesteryear. Unfortunately today, however, I appear to be running a little low on things to discuss. So we'll move over to the shelf over here, where we will be taking a look at another little find. Today we will be taking a look at the 1989 Matchbox pull-string activated talking Freddy Krueger doll. Now this little fella comes with a somewhat unfortunate backstory, which goes basically as follows. Back during that time, these kind of toys were not something that you would see every day. Not like today where you've got your NECA movie maniacs and all these other awesome little goodies. Now, the year 1989 was a much simpler time, unfortunately. Come on, Freddy, you can do this. A time where parents did not even want their children to associate with serial killers and such, like Freddy here was in the films, with being friendly, happy-go-lucky bedtime pals. Which, thinking about that statement now as I say it out loud, I kind of understand, but I digress. Come on, Freddy, you can do this. So, as I was saying, Matchbox Toys got hold of the license for Freddy Krueger, and their initial plan was that they were going to unleash Freddy onto the plaything market through a series of toys. Initially, the first toy was supposed to be an action figure called Max FX, who's going to be a movie stuntman with a superpower, kind of like another action figure from back in the 60s called Captain Action, who would have the power, as I was saying, to be able to put on any costume and be able to assume the powers of each and every single movie character that he had the costume on. And the first in that line was supposed to be Freddy Krueger. But I should also mention that they were going to use that toy to kind of wean children and adults into the whole horror movie characters as, lovable friends and toys and stuff. Just like this is an actor in a suit, this isn't really a movie slasher who's going to come and get you in your sleep. But, as I was starting to say before I remembered that tidbit, they screwed up. You see, the people at Matchbox, they were getting antsy about waiting for the Max FX toys to get finished because, well, they were running behind schedule. But the Freddy Krueger talking dolls that were supposed to be next in the lineup after Max FX were basically ready to go. So Matchbox Toys, the executives at that company at that time in 1989, jumped the gun, and this macabre little fella wound up on store shelves first. And oh boy, the backlash that occurred after the parents saw him. One of the main reasons why I believe it is that they were so upset with this guy is because of one particular phrase. And yes, I know I just spent the first 5 or so minutes trying to get him to stand up, and I'm picking him up now. But I'm going to try and get him to say that particular phrase. So, bear with me. There are probably going to be a few cuts here. You see, Parents didn't want their children to try and become friends with Freddy Krueger. Which again, to an extent, I understand. But what self-respecting parent would want their children to be friends with a guy like this, when they could be friends with someone like our little friend Corky here? Isn't that right, Corky?
My real name is Charles Lee Ray.
You see? So anyways, back to the doll in question. So Freddy here, for 1989, is actually a fairly accurate representation of old Mr. Krueger from the films. And I just remembered another reason why parents might have been so agitated and upset with Matchbox toys over this guy. Normally I would take the hat off, but this one is still firmly attached to the head, so I have to be a little creative with how to show off this feature. If you look closely right there, you can see Freddy Krueger's brains are showing. This, of course, is in reference to, I believe, the second film in the series, where Freddy Krueger is possessing a teenager, and at one point he actually tears a hole in his skull, revealing his brains, while spouting off the line, "I've got the brains, and you've got the body." Come on, Freddy. People are going to start to think you have rickets or something. Anywho, ladies, gentlemen, boils, ghouls, and all other macabre and maniacal manner of being, this has been Oxleymations, and my stubborn little friend Freddy here, who will not stand up. Freddy, you're drunk. Go home. As a matter of fact, let's put him back on the shelf. So anyways, boils, ghouls, and all other macabre manner of being, it's your old buddy Oxleymations here, signing off and saying to you, where does a 300-pound monster sleep? Wherever he wants.